Back again, NFL Spotlight. You already know the deal. I got Ramandre with me today, and today we're going to be talking about one of Remy's favorite football teams.
Nope, not at all.
The New England Patriots, as you can see at the bottom.
The evil empire. No, hate them.
Well, Remy, good news, buddy. They might not be the evil empire for too much longer.
Yeah, I'm a F- across the board on this one, boys.
So we're going to break it down. We're going to look at the depth chart and stuff, kind of give the position grades in the AFC East where they kind of stand. By now, you've already seen the Jets video, and this is kind of, just going off of that. So we'll jump straight into it, and we're going to start with the QB room. And, of course, Mac Jones, Brian Hoyer, and bunch. Maybe expecting a big year from Mac Jones. What are you thinking?
I don't dislike Mac Jones as a football player. I think he's a solid NFL guy. I don't know how high his ceiling goes.
Right.
But I think he is the right guy for Bill Belichick. My big question mark for Mac Jones really and for this entire Patriots offense is who's leading the offense. I mean, they have they don't have offensive coordinator. They have Patricia and Joe Judge running the offense. Those are guys I don't think of when I think of offensive-minded guys. Mm-hmm. So that's where my intrigue is for Mac Jones this year. I think he's a solid player. I just don't think that the receiving core, the coaching staff are going to be doing him any favors. So I think, like I said, I got no quarrels with Mac Jones. They better hope Mac Jones stays healthy, though, because behind him, it gets tough. I mean, Brian Hoyer, we all know what Brian Hoyer is. He is about as journeyman as it gets. He's been a Patriot for most of his career. Mm-hmm. The few chances he got out of New England, he's a decent backup. He's a backup. Is what he is. But so, I think a good year ahead for Mac Jones.
Okay. So as we go through these, of course, we're going to get a little crisper at them and stuff. So our daily spotlights. And we're going to, instead of breaking down and looking at the whole roster, we're going to go through the position groups, give our ratings, and then we'll give an overall synopsis of what we think the team is and the roster and record and stuff. So we'll start. What do you think the Patriots QB room is? 1-4. We already said the Jets were the 4th.
I mean, I'm going to be a homer here. I'm going to put them in 3rd.
So, you know how much I love Tua, me personally. We've seen Mac Jones do it already. We haven't really seen Tua do it. And on that merit alone, me personally, I would have to say they have the 2nd best QB room.
I mean, I get it, but you're wrong. So I'll just counter it by saying if you actually go look at the numbers, and I know Mac was a rookie last year and Tua was in his 2nd year, but if you look at their numbers, they're actually very similar. It's just everyone hyped up Mac Jones because he was a rookie and he was a Patriot. But if you compare the numbers,
if you take that Dolphin headband off, you wouldn't be opposed to saying that Mac Jones is ahead of Tua, right?
Yeah, I mean, also you got to take into account Bill Belichick versus Brian Flores, and what the way that the organizations handle the players. And what we were throwing out there. So the worst offensive line in the maybe the history of the league versus what New England's got out there.
We know this. So I know all these things.
Yeah. I'm just telling you. When this year it ain't gonna be close.
Okay.
It ain't gonna be close.
So I'm saying they have the 2nd, Remy saying the 3rd. Just keep that on note.
Splitting hairs, but I'm
splitting hairs for sure. Yeah, I mean you got the headband on, might as well be. The running back room. So,
I think this is their strength.
You think so? Damian Harris?
Think this is their strength. Everything I'm hearing this offseason is Ramandre Stevenson is going to be a stud.
Really?
Yes, which is crazy because if you go look at Damian Harris and what he did last year, there's a lot of talk that Stevenson is going to take over that position. Look at Damian Harris because this blew my mind. I didn't even notice this. Look how many touchdowns.
15 touchdowns. He scored a lot of
15 rushing touchdowns. But like I said, a lot of the talk is Stevenson is going to be the main bell cow for them. I mean, they both averaged 4.5 yards.
First off, I'll almost counter that by saying
There's
no such thing as a bell cow in a Patriots.
Yeah, in New England, there never will be. Yeah. Now they did just recently have James White retire, so yeah, I don't know. But so the reason that a lot of people are saying that is Stevenson's a better pass catcher than Harris. Harris apparently not a very good pass catcher. Stevenson can catch the ball out of the backfield a little bit better. So that's the reason for that, and especially with James White being retired. But I think those two together, I think that's a solid 1-2 in this division.
I think it's clearly between them or the Dolphins.
I think it's them. I like what the Dolphins have done at the running back position, but it's more depth than just star. And I think, like I said, I don't know which one of these two, but one of these two is going to have a very, very good year.
Yeah. So we're going to go. So we'll go first here.
Yeah, I'm saying that's the best running back room in the division.
Okay. Move along to the wide receiver room, and of course, as you see here, it's he switched over ex-Dolphin superstar Devontae Parker, Mr. Pulled Hamstring himself, Kendrick Bourne, who everyone thinks Kendrick Bourne's going to have a big year. I'm still waiting on it. I have him in one of my dynasty leagues. He's been in the league.
Good year last year.
Yeah, solid year. I mean, he's a solid third, fourth.
That's where my issue is with this wide receiver room. Is like none of these guys are close to being a number one.
Mm-hmm.
Jacoby Myers, good year last year too, but they're not number ones. I mean, they're borderline twos. Parker, I mean, flashed potential at times to be a number one, but
my man's 29 years old.
His injuries just tore him apart.
Yeah,
I don't like this wide receiver room. Literally, like I look at Kendrick, I like Kendrick Bourne, and I like Jacoby Myers, but I look at those two guys as being like, okay, if I got that guy as my like third receiver, like I found a hidden gem. Mm-hmm. They're going to be running out there with those guys, but 1 and 2.
So, are we going to group tight ends with wide receivers?
I think
we'll do pass catchers.
I think it should be pass catchers.
Now,
if you throw tight end into the equation, now preface this by saying Jonnu Smith last year was not. He didn't do anything.
Nothing. I had him in fantasy. Fuck that guy.
He didn't do anything. So Hunter Henry is still a very good tight end, but overall, from a pass catching standpoint, I don't love this room.
I'm still putting it fourth.
Yeah,
you got to put it fourth.
I think it's fourth.
And like I said, Hunter Henry is probably the best tight end in the division.
It's close. I mean, I think he is, but people really like the Buffalo tight end all of a sudden.
I don't know. I definitely say Hunter Henry's the best tight end in the division, but
I think so.
The wide receiver room is just poor.
It's awful.
So we're going to put him fourth, the pass catching. How about the pass blocking? How about blocking in general?
New England always is pretty well set off on the offensive line. They normally perform well. I think they've got some good players. I think Isaiah Wynn. I think Trent Brown, pretty good. Though David Andrews, the center, is really good center. The weird one is Cole Strange. He was the first round pick that, like, where did he go to school? It's like Chattanooga. First round pick. They like really reached up to get him for some reason. We'll see if he's good. But sometimes, Belichick can see stuff that others can't. Sometimes he leaves you scratching his head. Mm-hmm. I think that this offensive line, though, is very good.
Okay.
I mean, clearly, you look at what the running backs
we said the Jets were the second best offensive line.
So I think that this is probably the best offensive line.
So we're going to put them number one.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you think about it, if the Dolphins just did a little more at the guard position, you would think they would have a really good offensive line. That's wait and see. I do love who they got in left tackle, which of course we'll break down there.
Yeah.
There's a couple days from now. But so we're gonna say number one for O-line here. I like the guys. I like I think the coaching staff, one of the weirdest issues with this team is they don't have an offensive coordinator.
Yeah, they're just running out there. Like I said, Matt Patricia, it's a defensive guy. He's going to be helping run the offense. And I don't know. I don't love what's going on in New England.
Weird vibes.
I will tell you, I don't see a great year out of New England this year.
Yep. Go to the D-line.
Now they run a 3-4.
So, but
got to keep that in account.
Got to keep that in mind. But
these all right. So if you look at the names on here, you're going to have some unheralded guys. But I really like. So Godchaux actually was a Dolphin. We drafted Godchaux.
Right.
He's
this guy's
a big body.
Barrymore
is going to be a good football player. Mm-hmm. Just another big dude that's going to just eat up space there. Really what you look at there is, and defensive line, when you're running a 3-4,
it's always going to
have a bunch of no-name guys. But I think that, just look at the success they've had year in and year out with their defense. I don't think they need big names on that D-line. They just need big bodies that eat up space.
I'm putting them at 3, though.
Yeah, I'm putting them at 3 as well. I think, I think it's a good scheme fit for them.
Mm-hmm. And, when y'all are watching this, and if you hit us up in the comments, let us know what you think of all these, of the QB room and the D-line group and kind of everything. And we'll definitely get in there and we'll talk about it in our next videos. And also, check us out on our lives. We'll always come in and have questions. We'll answer.
Tell us how stupid we are in the comments.
Yeah, let's be honest. We're a bunch of dummies.
Battle it out.
Backers here, like you said, this is a 3-4. Mm-hmm. So, they do have some backers that are interesting. They're really, I thought, they have Matthew Judon. They did get Judon.
12.5 sacks last year. Very good season.
Very good season. You got to like him. I don't know about these other guys as much.
Well, I don't know how you pronounce his name. Uche, whatever. Was a pretty high draft pick out of Michigan. I think
second rounder.
Dealt with some injuries, so they're really hoping he can step up and be. Now Ronnie Perkins, if you look at his backup, was also a pretty high draft pick as well. So there's some potential guys there that they're hoping step into these spots. But
potential,
overall, it's a solid linebacking group. It's nothing like super special, but it works.
What's the number? What's the number we're getting this one?
What did I put the Jets at?
4.
Of course I did, because they're awful. From a linebacker standpoint,
they got a stud in Matthew Judon.
They do have a stud in Matthew Judon. Let's take a look.
It's really,
Who's
y'all's linebackers?
So because we're also running a 3-4, it's going to be. I think Melvin Ingram and Andrew Van Ginkel are going to be splitting the one outside backer. We've got Jerome Baker and a Landon Roberts in the middle, and then the other outside backer is going to be Jalen Phillips, the second-year kid, at 8.5 sacks last year as a rookie. So some potential guys there.
I think y'all have a better linebacking core.
I do too, top to bottom. I think ours is better. My question, so I'm gonna say third.
Yeah, I think we got to go third because I also really like the Bills linebacking core.
Yeah, I think the Bills are going to have a really good linebacking core. So I'm going to say third.
And we are talking about kind of different, a little bit different linebacking cores with the Bills because they run the generic 4-3. They're more of a, but I like their middle linebacker.
Edmonds,
he's a stud.
He's insane.
So he's better than all these guys kind of combined. But I will say, big. You got to look at. We'll see if Judon can produce. Somebody's got to produce in this defense and get sacks. So we'll see. And kind of looking at their secondary here. Anytime Jalen Mills, I'm not a fan of him. He is terrible.
This is not a good secondary.
Terrence, this is not good.
This is not a good secondary.
Kyle Duggar?
This is not a good second round pick, Kyle Duggar.
And of course McCourty. This is not great.
McCourty's a big leader guy, great locker room guy.
Bro, I'm sorry. I'm going to cut you off there because we're running a little long on this one. Any secondary with Jalen Mills, you can count me out, bro.
Especially as a number 1 or 2 corner.
Yeah, he is.
This is a bad secondary. What did I put the Jets? Did I say?
We say 3 because of
this secondary.
We said 3 because of Sauce.
Yeah.
So
yes, this is the 4th. This is last.
This is the dead last secondary. So overall, we have the QB room is a split between me and Remy. I'm saying 2. Remy's saying 3. Running back room is the strength of this team, but we have number 1 overall. We also have the pass catching's dead last in the division. Really lacking some like dynamicism in the wide receivers. You know what I'm saying? Like they're guys that can go out and get it done, get you 6 for 60, but that's about it. I do like your tight end and Hunter Henry. Also, their offensive line, very strong offensive line. I think they have me and you agree they have the best offensive line in the division. So if they can lean on the running backs and run the ball, kind of like they did last year, we'll see how they end up doing.
I mean, they won a game last year without throwing the ball. So
yeah.
I mean,
but also we kind of talked about it. There's no offensive coordinator. They're kind of in a little disarray right now. And overall, if you look at the roster and we're comparing some of these positions with the Jets, that's not where you want to be.
That's exactly. So what's your record? Just on paper, you look at this roster. Like I said, we're not going to do a schedule breakdown.
I like Mac Jones. We're not doing. I like Mac Jones. You got to like the coaching staff, no matter what, they'll figure it out. But I think they win 7 football games.
I have them at 7 as well because I don't think they'll figure it out. You got to have an offensive coordinator.
Yeah,
a young quarterback, a second-year guy. He's got multiple voices running around in his head. He's got no leadership, no direction. I think 7. And I say 7, it could be worse. I don't love this team.
When do people, because me and you, we always grew up saying, well, the Patriots are going to make some turd Ferguson be a stud. When do we start believing that, like, hey, it's kind of slowing down a little bit? I think this might be one of the years, we kind of looked last year, like, well, they had a rookie quarterback and blah, 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 and they were still okay. I think we're looking at the overall trend in the roster, and it's trending in the wrong direction. Yeah. Where if you compare these two rosters, say you compare the Jets and Patriots roster, they're eerily familiar in a lot of positions, but the problem is the Jets have a lot of young guys.
Yes.
That they're trying to trend upwards, where the Patriots are just edging the young guys out, but are trending downward. So we'll end up seeing how they end up doing. Like, subscribe, post in the comments. Tell us what you guys think the records are going to be for the Patriots, and kind of overall, what's your opinion? Who do you think's a better quarterback, Tua or Mac Jones? We'll see y'all next time.